Hello, it's Angela and I'm here to share the latest Hobbybase Club Box with you. This one is box 17 and it has a butterfly theme. Now you might remember that way back, if you've been following us from the beginning, the very first launch box was actually butterflies, but it was very different to this one. This one's got a lot of more brighter colours in it, and we have funky things like patterned acetate. Now this card here is the first one, card number 1, and I've made this one using the circle aperture card from the box, and I've used the very pretty butterfly patterned acetate. It's in white, so it shines quite nicely, adds a nice subtle overlay. At the back I've used one of the pattern papers, which are actually first edition papers. I recognise those as Wildflower, so they're a good quality paper, and I'm not sure what colours you'll get in your box. There may be a different selection, but they're all around the same colour palette, so anything I've made here will obviously work with whatever papers you have. So I've used a piece of the paper, just trimmed it down to fit inside, and for this bit here, what I've done is I've cut some strips of paper. I can't remember if that's a 2 centimetre one and that's a 1 centimetre. And then what I've done is I've laid out the paper strips, and I've taken one of the stamps that comes in the stamp set, which you get in the box. This is it's a hunky-dory for the love of stamps, and it's Butterfly Wishes. Now I've used this stamp here. Can you see it? I'm not sure if you can see that in there, but it's like a scroll effect, and I've just randomly stamped it on some paper strips. It doesn't have to be precise, I'm just sort of giving an impression and tying the colours in. Now in my box I've got this lovely purple velvet ink, which is a prism ink from Hunky Dory, and that's quite a nice dye ink, so it's a good ink for stamping with. Now I'm not sure whether all the boxes will have the same colours, I'm not sure at all, but whatever it is, I'm sure it will tone in with the papers. The products are usually selected because they work well together, so if you haven't got purple, you'll have something else that will work with the papers. So I've used this, the purple velvet ink and the scrolly stamp there, stamped onto the random strips, and then I've simply randomly ruched it up. Now that's just, you don't have to pleat it exactly. Try and, because some of these papers are double-sided, you can actually get a little bit of a contrast underneath if you want to sort of fold it a bit more at an angle. I've only got a little bit shown on there, but there is this one is a double-sided paper I've used. Now what you need to do is, if you're doing something like this, don't ever finish flush with the edges. It's a good design idea to let them go over the edges. It just helps with the design. It makes it, I don't know, something different about it. And I think it works well with the butterflies because we've got that element of movement. So basically I've used some double-sided tape, ruched it up and placed it across the top. Now I will say that you may need to join the strips. I've joined mine. You probably can't tell too much, but just there is a join. I've done the same with the bottom, and then simple just add a sentiment. Now the sentiments that you get in the box are actually these Dovecraft ones. They're from the Painted Blooms collection, and there's some nice pinks and like a turquoisey green and some darker pinks. Now I've chosen this one here. They're all different shapes, and I've chosen that one there. I've added some of the sparkles that you get in the box, and also I've used them to decorate the butterfly bodies, just so it adds a bit of interest, a little bit of sparkle. And that's it really. You get to play with your stamps, you don't have to be precise, and you can play with some paper ruffling, and I think that just makes a very pretty card. And of course it's purples, and I love purples. Thank you for looking.